right, so we're back with tabletop interviews for TotalCon. I'm Peter Bryant with Solarian Games, and I'm here with Bill Webb. I guess officially Frog God would be...
Frog God and Necromancer, yeah. Actually, this year's an interesting year because Necromancer just turned 25, and next month Frog God turns 15.
Wow.
It's been a long ride.
So not just one company, too.
Yeah. There's a long story behind why that is, but it had to do with who owned what intellectual property and that kind of thing, and then eventually we bought out the prior owners and that kind of thing. So now we own both imprints.
Okay. And then do you all have like your own distribution? Do you do your own distribution?
We do most of it, yeah. So I've got a farm where I live, and so I've got 15 acres. And about 10 years ago, we got sort of pissed off about the amount of money that like Amazon and everybody else were taking. And so I dropped a large number of dollars into building a big warehouse. Mm-hmm. We also distribute through ACD and others, right? But I do a lot. Most of our own fulfillment we do ourselves, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because we used to do that, but it sucked because an order would come in, and Jason basically actually did it because he had all the material in his house. But if an order came in, then he would have to print the label, put it on the box, go to the post office, and like under normal circumstances that's okay. But like then it's like, well, I have a wedding to go to, or I have this to do, or I want to go away for a week or whatever, right? And then it's like you get concerned with all that. So we're currently paying a warehouse, and yeah, it gets a little expensive, but it's not. So far, it's been cost beneficial to us. We sell enough to pay for the warehouse and cover costs.
I mean, it's all fun and games until you have like so last year with the shipping and distribution problems from China. We had 3 Kickstarter deliveries, all came in on the same ship.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
And so my daughter and I had to process 3,000 orders over a period of a couple of weeks, and that was the post office was unhappy with me.
Yeah,
because we live in a really small town, right? So we're the biggest customer for the post office anyway, in the whole town. And but when I showed up with several hundred packages a day, they didn't love that. It was interesting. Interestingly, 2 of those Kickstarters were late delivery because the stuff came in on the ship late, and one of them was like 3 months early because I didn't even know it was coming. It was showing up.
So speaking of that, what are your thoughts on are you going to continue to do stuff through China? Is that a concern for you now?
Yeah, the actual tariff before. I actually had a long conversation with an attorney about this to find out because he's a tax attorney and he understood how the tariffs are going to work.
Right.
It's only on the manufacturer cost of the printing.
Okay.
So and everyone's claiming it's 60% and all this other stuff. It was already 45%. So it did go up some. But if you talk about, the cost of printing, say a 300-page book is, depending on the number of units and all that other stuff, but let's just say that it's $8. It's going to be, $9. Mm-hmm. And so the net effect, everyone's panicking about it, but the real net effect is it ain't that big a deal.
Okay.
The primary cost in producing books, I mean, you know this, right? It's the art and the layout, the editing, and the writing,
the labor,
and all that other stuff.
It's the labor.
The first PDF is 75% of your cost,
yes.
And after that, I wish that U.S. printing was more viable. Mm-hmm. It's just 300% of the cost.
Really?
Yeah, it's super expensive. We used to print. We do our soft covers and that kind of thing in the U.S. because we don't make that many of them, right?
Right.
And we also do like a ridiculously, I almost call it stupid high quality thing. We're using like 100-pound paper and and high gloss everything. And we have a local printer to Zach, not local to me, but down in Arizona, that will sort of I call it print on demand, but except for it's not like a POD book, but they'll print like 72 of them if we need them, or 15 extras because ACD wanted them, or Noble Knight wants another dozen of these.
But you pay extra for that.
Actually, even the small quantities, that's the reason that we use them, is because if we need 6, they charge us the same as if we need 600.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to get that name from you.
Yeah. They get a lot of business from us.
Right.
And so again, we're their kind of their I guess cornerstone customer, so they take really good care of us.
Okay.
Because it's like a mom and pop shop in what the hell's the name of that town? Someplace you've never heard of, Arizona.
Okay.
And we probably give them a couple $100,000 of the business a year. So
Nice.
they're
So
very nice to us.
Yeah.
They're very nice.
You
to
put
us.
their kids through college.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the kids were probably already through college.
Oh,
They're a little older than me, so they're.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
so it's like really a mom and pop.
Yeah, it's a mom and pop. Yeah, they're
awesome.
in their 70s.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
good for them.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of Kickstarters.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I asked the last guy here about like using BackerKit and I know now it's not just Kickstarter and Indiegogo, but like now BackerKit has their own thing. Have you ever considered or tried any of those other services to see?
We've used Indiegogo. We use Indiegogo a lot for our small press stuff.
Okay.
So when we do because we usually, and last year was a really slow year for us because of the weirdness with 5e, right? Where we weren't sure whether things were going to be compatible and all that other stuff.
Right.
So we sat on a bunch of projects that are basically done. And we're going to be ramping that back up again now because we realized that pretty much everything works okay in the new system or whatever. But all of our 5e stuff last year went on hold. Mm-hmm. And so all we did was we did some stuff for OSE. We did some stuff for, I don't remember. We only did like 4 Kickstarters last year, which for us is really unusual.
Okay.
We usually do more like 10.
Jeez.
I think we've done about 60 or 70, maybe even more than that between the two imprints.
What are the rules on Kickstarter? Because I thought, I think you can only do one at a time, right?
It varies a little bit.
Okay.
Once you you get like a certification as like a proven performer type thing.
Okay.
And so for most people, you're right. You have to have one. You have to fulfill it before you can do a second one. They'll actually let us do 2 per imprint.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
So we can have 4 going at a time if we want to. Not running at the same time, but we can have 4
active,
meaning somewhere we could have 1 running and 3 unfulfilled because we've delivered on all of them.
Right. Well, that's good.
Again, it's track record is really a lot of it.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Because they Kickstarters, they start screwing over customers more than necessary. People will go on.
And we're probably at least 50% of ours have been delivered on schedule, and we don't run a Kickstarter until the book's in layout.
Right. Right.
So
we're the same way.
Yeah, if the book's not in layout, then we don't start the Kickstarter.
Right.
And we try to have it where, like I said, some things are just beyond your control. The cargo ship your stuff got on was a month later than you expected, or 2 months later than you expected, and sometimes the one that you're not expecting to receive, like the one that was supposedly going to be delivered next month, I delivered in December.
Right.
But the one that was supposed to be delivered in October, I also delivered in December.
All right.
And so there's a lot of stuff going with that. But yeah, once you've got a proven track record, they're fairly lenient on what they'll let you do. And I think we've only got 1 that we don't have delivered right now, and it's on a boat someplace or on a dock in
So let's talk about that.
Beijing.
What's coming?
So the next thing, I'm actually really psyched because the next thing that we've got going will be in March. Right now we've got Arden's Adventures, which is sort of an OSE zine thing. So it's like short paperback stuff. Edwin was really hot on doing it. Was never intended to be big. We decided to run it on Kickstarter instead of on Indiegogo. Normally it would have been an Indiegogo project because it's so little. Just because we had no Kickstarters active and decided to go ahead and do that instead.
Yeah.
So that one's active right now.
Okay.
I think it's going for like another 2 or 3 days is all. I believe that one is under the Frog God imprint, I think. I honestly can't remember. Zach and Edwin do all the production stuff.
By the time people see this, it'll be over probably anyway.
Totally. But in March, I'm really excited about this. I'm finally going to publish my home rules system.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Which is, it's going to be called the Necromancer's Game. Strangely enough, it'll be published under the Necromancer imprint. Strangely enough,
right?
It's been kind of my house rules since the late '70s.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so it's sort of it's a white box variant with different classes and that kind of thing. Inspired by everything from like the old Balboa Games Warlock stuff and the Arduin and everything else that we used to use back in the '70s and early '80s,
right?
As sort of supplements to the almost unintelligible white box rules. Because you had to make stuff up back then, because the rules were really not rules; it was sort of guidelines. And we're running that here, and Edwin's down there running a game of it right now.
Oh, cool!
I had it mostly written back in 2010, and then of course I bought Mythmere Games and Matt Finch's company, and we had Swords and Wizardry, so I didn't want to have 2 rule systems that were similar.
Right.
So then when Matt decided that he wanted to do his own imprint again and that kind of thing, that was great. But then we didn't have a rule system,
Right.
And so I wouldn't call it a vanity project. That's sort of a vanity project.
Kind of.
I mean, it is. I mean, it was something I always wanted to do. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, it's amazing how many gamers decide they want to make their own game.
Yeah,
And I'm super. I'm like the most guilty.
Yeah.
I was playing D&D for 1 year, and decided the next year that I wanted to make my own game. And I made a ton of crappy games, because I was 12, 13, 14,
Well, yeah, of course, right?
So I made an Atlantis game, I made I don't know, just all kinds of games, a gangster game.
Yeah.
And they all sucked.
Yeah.
But
maybe not. Who knows? If they're fun to play, they work, right?
But so it's wild. It's also encouraging when somebody actually can follow through. And like in your case, you're saying, it's a vanity project, but that's okay because this is your dream, right?
Yeah, totally. I've been wanting to do this for years.
Right.
And the nice thing about most OSR games is that they're compatible with each other.
Yeah.
And so you could play, the rules are slightly different than, say, Shadow Dark or than OSE or than Hyperborea.
Super easy to interpret.
Super easy to interpret, super easy compatible with. Some of the rules overlap, some of them don't. There are... The difference really between what I do and what most other OSR games do is my games are not murder hobo friendly. Right. So you don't want to fight stuff because it's not worth any experience points. You're trying to accomplish objectives and you're trying to, stay alive because they're, white box games you're gonna die really easy, right? You might have 3 hit points at first level or whatever.
Right.
And there isn't, you're not superheroes. So I've got really extensive rules for like parlaying and negotiation and morale that other white box games don't have.
Right.
It's got, you don't have like skills and feats and stuff like that like you do in 3.5, but I've got a system called lore that is different classes have they know stuff. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's also multiple character classes like bards and paladins and rangers and that kind of thing, but they're all white boxed out.
Right.
And so I think there's 11 character classes.
Okay.
But it's, again, because we had, like I said, back in the day, we had like Arduin to use as a model, and we had Warlock to use as a model. And the guy who I learned how to play D&D with, my first DM, actually was one of the Caltech gamers that was one of the owners of Balboa. Okay. And of course, they got sued out of existence in 79 or 78 by They Sue Regularly. So finding one of those original rule books is pretty tough. You can't find it. I actually had it on a blue and green dot matrix printer printout from Caltech.
Oh, wow.
That the guy, Steve Peterson was the guy's name. It's a different Steve Peterson than the Chaosium one. But it was the guys who owned Balboa. And he, like I said, that's how I learned how to play when I was a young teenager.
It's wild because you hear about some of these other fantasy games that are no longer around, right? But they were good, and we played them. But they were they were really an artifact of that era, right?
Yeah.
Different people experiment a lot of experimental stuff. Because, like for example, my other fantasy, tangential fantasy games would have been like Pendragon. I don't know if you ever played that.
Of course,
but, and there was a game called Swordbearer, and I didn't see that very many places.
I remember Swordbearer.
It came in a box set.
Yeah, I think I've got a copy of it.
I do.
Yeah.
I bought one
copy,
for nostalgia reasons. I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Quest. Remember SPI?
Quest. Yeah, SPI Dragon Quest,
right.
Of course.
So we played a bunch of those, and they were fun. I mean, I can see why a lot of them aren't around. Like, the SPI games were all written must have been by like an engineer or something. It's very it's very bland.
It's like trying to play Rollmaster.
Right. It's like because it's like you're in chapter 3 and you're on page 2, section 5, so it would be 3.2.1, right? And then it would say grappling.
Grappling. Yeah, totally.
So, but it was good. I mean, I liked it. It was fun, and it has colored my design throughout my life, obviously.
Yeah.
But that would be fun to do.
The Game Lord stuff's a little that way with me. And again, it was all, it was obviously typewritten.
Right.
And it's all loose leaf, but the same kind of thing. 3.2.1.1.6, and it's set up exactly that way. It's really it's
awesome.
It's really something, especially when the book's about that thick.
Right.
500-page rule set. But the Game Lord stuff was really pretty special.
Oh, and I'm completely forgetting the ice system. You remember that with all the charts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Geez.
I only know one group that successfully played that. and it's a whole bunch of lawyers and bank presidents and stuff.
Right. Yeah, we played it for a little bit, but it was again, it was like this is not a fun game. This is a game with a lot of work.
Yeah, people call Pathfinder Math Finder, and they got no idea.
No clue.
No idea.
They never played what was that game? Phoenix Command. Where you could take 1,000,000 points of damage.
Yeah. Or chivalry and sorcery, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, a combat with a wolf could take a half an hour, and you'll probably die.
Yeah. Or there was our cameraman's favorite, Time Lords, which was BTRC.
Yeah.
And that was just awful. I take 11 points of damage. Okay. So 3. 3 what? 3 damage. Oh, I said 11. Well, what you don't understand is where you were hit and the chart and then I rolled on another chart.
Yeah,
right.
Hit you in the finger. Yeah.
So I honestly, while I love those days for nostalgic reasons, I don't ever want to return to them.
No, and that's I mean, I don't know if you ever played one of my games, but anyone who has will know that everything can be resolved with a maximum of 2 dice rolls.
Yeah, there you go.
And so I try to make, it's supposed to be an interactive game, and I'm really heavy on actually role playing, right?
Right.
And so there's some combat, and sometimes it's unavoidable, but I can't think of a situation that can't be resolved with 2 dice rolls in the way I play. And that's sort of if you've ever wondered how I can handle 25 players in a game, that's why.
Right. Right. As a matter of fact, I made a new character sheet for this game, More Blood. That's like in its very final play test, right? I mean, it's written, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
But I actually put like a cheat sheet on the character sheet, and it's mainly for conventions and stuff, so that when you're playing, I don't have to we can get up and roll. And like if you have any questions, most of them will be answered in this little box right here.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm doing with our character sheets in the box set. 'Cause of course, I'm making the sexy box set with hardcovers inside.
Yeah, right.
Because I can.
Because you can.
I'm the CEO.
Right.
So anyway, the character sheets actually have all the rules for the character class on them.
Right.
Because it's only about that much space.
Right.
And so you have all your stuff you can write on your character sheet, and then you have levels 1 through 10 or whatever with the abilities, and then quick definitions of the fact that the paladin gets smite evil. So against evil priest demons and intelligent undead, they get to add their attack modifier to their damage type thing, and it's all right there. Poof, you go.
Right there. Yeah, that's good. That's good because a lot of these character sheets, they'll have an area where you can just write down your ability, and then you're just like, well, I can't remember how that works with that. So every time you go to use it, you got to open the book up.
So. Again, man, 2 dice rolls.
Yeah, awesome.
That's all you need.
Awesome. So where can people find Mr. Webb?
They can find me, Necromancer Games at yahoo.com is my email address. I get lots of correspondence there. FrogGodGames.com is our website. My Patreon, I don't even know how to look it up, but I know how it works.
Right.
And Patreon's free to join. Obviously the folks who pay money and stuff like that get bigger
benefits. Yeah, right. Of course.
I'm doing 2 short modules a month right now for the folks at certain levels for that.
Yeah, we're just now initiating it. So our Patreon, by the time you're watching this video, if you're watching this right now, our Patreon is probably live. We've got it. We've been setting it up and getting it ready. But yeah, we were at we're at Page. The Philly Con, and one of the guys there, we were talking to one of the creators there, actually a couple of them, they gave a panel, and one of the things they said was you really want to do a Patreon. It is actually very beneficial, and they gave all the reasons why, and I was like, oh, because I had been avoiding it because I was like, oh, great, extra work. And they were just like, you can't think of it like that because the entire time you're producing material, and you can always re-release, like you can let people see the beta stuff. And I was like, oh, yes. And they said people are you're not tricking anybody.
No,
they're happy to do it.
Yeah, totally. And there's some stuff I exclusively give to the patrons, right? But but you're absolutely right. The biggest thing about it, because I get like a whopping $250 a month, right? I mean, it's like,
but that helps pay some bills.
Not really. I mean, it might pay for my beer for 2 weeks, but I live in a very expensive area. Okay. So what we do don't move to Western Washington unless you're prepared to pay more for everything, is a good way to put it. The nice part about it is I have to post every day, which means I can't just like screw off and not do anything that day.
Okay.
And so for me, the people are, some of these guys are paying me 15, 20, $30 a month or whatever. A couple guys are paying me $40 a month because they get some
lots
real good
perks.
They get real good stuff out of that, right?
Right.
And including I run a game every week for them online. But the biggest thing is, you're obligated then to actually do something. And
Right.
so rather than, pop on, Band of Brothers, and just sit on your couch, you actually got to go write for an hour or two every day.
Yeah, that's where we started. We had started a podcast, Tabletop Weekly, right? And we did that mainly because it forces us to engage with our audience at least once a week.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
it makes you do it.
keeps-
Actually, I'll go ahead. I think I can find out the name. Hang on, let me find out what I call that thing. I think it's called the Frog Pond.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
And
That's
it's under my name, of course.
Right.
Yeah, it's called the Frog Pond.
The Frog Pond,
The Frog
okay,
Pond, yeah. And but I'm doing so basically 2 short adventures, 5,000, 10,000 words type thing a month. Some of them will end up published, many of them will not. And then for the guys at a certain level and up, at the end of the year, they're going to get a customized, signed to them actual book out of the thing.
And it also works out for everybody because as you know, and just so the people watching us will realize or help to realize is that writing something or making something is one thing, but the production end of it can be exceptionally complex. Like you can actually have something written that you could share that people could play or whatever.
Yep.
But if you want to make a book out of it, like an actual physical book that they're going to have in their hands, there are a lot of hoops to jump through to get that to happen.
Yeah, when we in the COVID era, I guess, which is we were highly productive. We were producing 2 soft covers a month, and we did I think 9 Kickstarters that year. I had 81 1099s that I sent out.
Jeez.
So we had 81 freelancers that worked for us that year, between the artists, the writers, the layout people, the graphic design people, the people who were doing our advertising for us. But 81 people. And so that would be for about 30 books. We had, that doesn't count Edwin and Zach and me and Casey Christopherson and Mike Battalato and the other partners and that kind of thing.
Right.
That was just freelancers.
Right.
And so, so to produce, I guess, 32 books took 100 people.
Yeah.
Basically. Oh, well, 90 people probably.
So it can be quite daunting.
It's daunting, and like I said earlier, I'm not allowed to have anything to do with that.
Right.
So they want me writing books and shipping books, and approving contracts and negotiating business stuff. And if I even try and insert myself into the production side, I get a swift kick in the butt from Jen Glazer or from Edwin.
That's awesome.
Because I interfere. And of course, the unfortunate thing is because I'm the CEO, people actually listen to me and then I screw things up. So it's like, I'm just not supposed to do it.
Bill, stop it. Bill.
No, don't talk to the layout guy. You're not allowed to talk to the layout guy.
We had an agreement, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
But I'm the CEO, but we had an agreement.
We had an agreement. Yeah. It is pretty humorous. Right. And to be fair, I'm not good at that stuff.
Right.
So,
So it's like, why do it? Let's
I hired Zach to have him do that.
Right. That's good. All right, Bill. Well, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Anytime. Anytime. So the only other thing that's happening soon is for 5e we'll have a bunch of stuff this year, but the lead on that is probably going to be April, and I think it's Tome of Artifacts.
Okay.
So kind of next in the Tome series.
Nice.
And I believe we have another monster manual coming out later this year. I can't remember what else there is. There's
Right.
I know the sort of the final chapter of Rapanathak I think we're slotting for around Christmas time.
Nice.
Which is all the Underdark stuff.
When we say Tome of Artifacts, is it like artifact or just like any kind of...
It's artifacts with backstories.
Okay,
so it's basically,
nice.
I think it's about 40 different artifacts and then, several pages of how they happen in a campaign. And of course, anyone who's ever encountered an artifact in a game knows
there's always a story.
There's also good and bad stuff about trying to get one. Right.
Right.
Sometimes they're not really good to get.
Yeah, you don't want the wand at work.
Yeah. You want the guy to bury it in the warehouse like Indiana Jones did, right?
Yeah.
Like they did in Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones didn't do it, but
you
don't want the Ark of the Covenant floating around, right?
No, not really.
But you also don't want the bad guys to have it.
Right.
All right. Well, pleasure as always.
All right. Thank you.
We'll do this again next year.
All right. Excellent.
You bet.